So what exactly wasn't normal? My testosterone levels. Of course they were low. I stopped taking testosterone and my body's not producing it. So the test numbers went way down. How far down? Coach Greg, and today I'm going to explain how do I feel now that my testosterone levels are crashed and I'm off HRT. I'm going to show you the various blood work forms that I have to show you where the numbers are, explain what is the difference that I feel from being off HRT as opposed to when I was on HRT. As you know, I've abused PDs, I've done steroid cycles in the past, but I've been on testosterone only for over a year. How does it feel to now suddenly come off and crash your testosterone levels? I ended my last cycle in November after competing in the Niagara Falls Pro Show where I did a minor steroid cycle, very, very small compared to what I did in the past. But still it was a cycle, I was competing in a competition. But since then, 140 milligrams of test a week. Did this blood work a couple weeks after that show, and here's the results. So you must have been thinking I was blasting a huge cycle and that all my blood work would be in a mess because, let's face it, this is only a few weeks later. Well, let's see. Cholesterol, HDL ratio, 3-to-1, great, perfectly healthy. ALT, or liver enzymes, normal. So all health markers that they could test you for, all of them, from cholesterol to liver enzymes, everything, all normal, despite being on a steroid cycle, but it was a small one. Back in the past, when I'd done larger cycles, like when I was competing to earn my pro card, in comparison, when I was doing abusive cycles, including tren and various orals, a lot of it was a mess. My cholesterol wasn't good. HDL, LDL ratio wasn't good. Liver enzymes, elevated. The typical problems of a bodybuilder, but fortunate enough for me, kidneys never were a problem. My last cycle, very minor, and so no real issues were to be seen. So what were my testosterone levels at on 140 milligrams of test a week? Well, on the Canadian scale, it was 27.5 nanomoles per liter. In the United States, that's equivalent to somewhere in the mid 700s nanograms per deciliter. High normal. Not crazy high, just high normal. Somewhere in the middle, a happy place. That's where I was. However, my bioavailable testosterone was over double normal, and that's because my SHBG, well, that's below the normal range, but this is quite common amongst people taking testosterone exogenously. I continued to do the same thing until about 6 weeks ago, at which time I stopped doing my testosterone. Got my blood work a few weeks later, and here are the results. Everything was normal. Cholesterol, liver enzymes, ALT, all of it normal. Of course it was. It wasn't like I was blasting tren or using anything, not doing SARMs, nothing. So what exactly wasn't normal? My testosterone levels. Of course they were low. I stopped taking testosterone and my body's not producing it. So the test numbers went way down. How far down? Well, on the Canadian scale, it's 3.2, which is around 85 to 90 nanomoles per deciliter, okay? Under 100. Not as bad as Isaiah Miranda's 21 nanograms per deciliter, but not very good now, is it? But listen, it probably hadn't quite bottomed out at this point because I'd been doing test and enthate. It would have slowly gotten out of my system. Every half-life, it's going to be lower and lower. Perhaps it wasn't bottomed out. What about the bioavailable testosterone? You know, the testosterone that you can actually use? Because with just one number, it doesn't really paint the whole story. My bioavailable testosterone, the testosterone you can use is 0.87 nanomoles per liter, or around 25 nanograms per deciliter on the United States chart. That's about 1/3 of the bottom end of normal. So let's just say it's extremely low, shitty, horrible. So my testosterone levels are very, very low. What about sex hormone binding globulin? That's actually 17.7, which is in the normal range. It's on the lower end, but it's in the lower end of the normal range. So everything except for my testosterone levels are normal. So because I went off HRT, my body had been used to getting testosterone exogenously. It no longer was making testosterone my own. So therefore, the number kept going lower and lower. So my doctor said, let's get some more blood work. Let's see what happens in a couple weeks. So here's the newest results, the results I went and picked up today. Let's start by the boring stuff. ALT 45, which is in the normal range. The liver enzymes, albumin normal. Estradiol 49, it's in the normal range. It's normal. Everything is normal so far. And this is what you really want to know. What about my testosterone levels? They're still low. Of course they're low. I'm off HRT. It's only been about 6 weeks. My testosterone levels on the Canadian scale are at 4, and that's about 110 nanograms per deciliter, something like that. Not even close to 250, if that's normal, 350, 450, whatever you want to consider to be normal. Used to be in the 700s, and now I'm in the low 100s. So how do you think I feel? Not amazing, not like Superman. Do I look good? Well, I almost look kind of arguably better. I look leaner because since I stopped the testosterone, I find my body's holding less water. I feel like I'm leaner, like I'm drier. Okay? Water, testosterone causes water retention. And when I was taking 140 milligrams a week, I wasn't taking a Arimidex with that. I didn't care about estradiol. That's normal. I'm on HRT or TRT. I'm just replacing what my body should be making. I don't see the need to take 100 different medications just because I'm trying to replace my testosterone. The testosterone dose is not high. It was 140 milligrams. For me, it's not high. It produced something in the 700s. Maybe for you, you take 140 and it's 1,500. Maybe that's too high. You have to ask your own doctor. For me, 140 is normal for me. Don't need a Arimidex. Estrogen's not out of whack, but it still causes a little bit of water retention, despite the fact that my testosterone dose was not too high. So what is the biggest noticeable change that I notice now that I'm off HRT? And you see I'm actually off it. My testosterone levels are consistently way below normal. You can argue all you like that I'm lying, that I'm on growth hormone and all this stuff. If I was on it, I would tell you. I don't care. If I decide to take growth hormone, I'll tell you. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going on GH. Let's see the results of that. I'll probably get views. I'd probably make more money. More people probably tune in if I start a growth hormone cycle and said, let's watch Coach Greg do growth hormone. So it doesn't make sense that I'm just going to keep it a secret. I would literally do a video talking about why I'm taking it. Probably make more money. I'm not on growth hormone. Could easily do it. I'm not. I don't see the purpose. I don't need to do it. So what is the biggest change that I've noticed? I'm always freaking sore. Every day I wake up and tell my girlfriend, I'm so sore. And it's a joke because before I even say it, she's like, I know what you're going to say, but I still say it. Every day I'm sore. Every time I get on the bicycle to do a race or to warm up, it's sore. I'm starting and I'm like, wow, my legs are so sore. So my recovery is not as good as it was. Am I still training hard? Yes, of course I am. I'm in a race. I'm racing today. I've been racing all the time, and I haven't slowed down. If anything, I've sped up. Guess what? When you're on a bicycle and you lose weight, you write in, you lost weight. It actually calculates your weight, and how much power you put compared to your weight is how fast your bike goes. So when you lose weight on a bicycle, you actually get faster. So even though testosterone could help you push out more watts, if you lose weight, it compensates for that. So being off testosterone hasn't slowed me down on the bike at all. In fact, maybe I'm arguably faster. I'm not sure. It's too hard to tell, but that's what's going on right now. So I definitely noticed that I'm way more sore, particularly in the legs. The legs they're just always sore. And when I go and do the same workout as I was doing before, I feel like my legs are more sore than had I been on HRT in the first place. So what am I doing about that? Well, right now I'm on a deload week, okay? Can't always train harder than last time. You can try, but after a while, it doesn't seem to make sense. So if you ever get to a point where you feel overtrained, like you're just going too hard, you're one of those people, maybe 1 out of every 100 people that pushes too hard in the gym. You know the person. You know that person, the one that's just going harder than last time all the time. They're the animals. Most people in the gym, they train like pussies. And are we allowed to say pussy anymore? Yeah, most people train like pussies, and not a girl, like a pussy cat, like girls kitten and boys kitten. They don't train hard at all. My pussy cats, they don't train hard. They just sit around, okay? So they train like wimps or whatever the terminology is for an insulting way to say somebody's not training harder than last time. They're training easy. They are training like they're going through the motions. Most people train going through the motions. If you're training really hard and you get sore and you can't recover, deload week. So I'm literally doing a deload where I train less hard than before, especially because a lot of times when I do exercise, it actually hurts to try. Like even doing chin-ups and stuff, I can feel it in the tricep tendon. It's causing pain. So trying to go a little bit easier there, but I'm still going hard on the bike. So although I'm doing a deload in the weights, still going harder than last time on the bike. What about sex drive? I would say sex drive is at about 50%. So not as much as it was, but not gone either. I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. Apparently I kept, okay, this is the biggest effect of being off HRT. I can't think anymore. I can't form a freaking sentence in a freaking video. Man, this sucks. So what was I saying? So let me put it to you this way. Everything in the downstairs still works as normal. It still works as required. So it's not horrible. Does that mean it's going to be like this forever? I already see the comments. I'm not on HRT, but it doesn't take a moron to know that somebody's going to be, oh, it's only been 6 weeks, and wait 6 months, and 7 years, you're going to lose. I'm not saying that I'm not going to continue to lose muscle. I'm not saying this is it. I'm not saying the worst has come. I don't know. I'm just reporting on what's happened. What about sleep and fatigue? I find I'm more tired than before and my sleep isn't quite as good as it was, but it's not horrible. To be honest, I feel pretty good. If I drink a cup of coffee, I'm feeling pretty good. If I drink some pre-workout, I can go to the gym and I can still train hard. Motivation, it's still there. So it's not that bad. It's not as good as it was, but it's not that bad. And you're thinking, well, how is this possible? You should have been this and you lost that. Listen, there is a big difference between going from 1,000 milligrams a week to nothing than 140 milligrams a week to nothing. Very small drop off compared to 1,000 to nothing compared to 140 to nothing. So unlike the person that's doing 1,000 milligrams a week, I only see a small decline in muscle and strength in compared to if you're on 1,000 milligrams. Just think, if you're on an excessive amount of androgens and you suddenly stop them, all that boost is gone. But if you're only on a little bit and you take it away, it's not as noticeable. So because I'm only on a low dose of testosterone, once I took it away, the difference isn't that noticeable. Had I been eating trenbolone sandwiches on the daily, I'm sure I would have noticed a more significant decline in performance. But it's not the case because I was only on a little bit of test, like what I said I was, 140 milligrams. Unlike all people that don't believe it, because I must be on growth hormone because it's impossible to have single-digit body fat unless you're on PDs. Nobody in the world can have as thin a skin as Coach Greg because clearly it has to be only from growth hormone. Oh, he's sure showing Coach Greg. He's a liar because somebody wrote on the internet that he's probably on growth hormone. Yeah, I must be lying because someone thinks I am. Literally, if I wanted to take growth hormone, I could do so within minutes. And I haven't. I just don't. I'm just not. And if I did, I would just tell you because it'd make for good content. Hey guys, I've been on growth hormone for a week and this is how I feel now in comparison to not taking it. I don't get it. I mean, I understand it's making content and getting views, but it's just moronic that people just think that I'm just outright gonna lie. After all the videos I've done, all these 1,000+ videos, you just think I'm just gonna lie. Why would I do that? It's entertaining and it's a great compliment, and I'm talking about it because it's fun to be right, because y'all know Coach Greg likes to be right, and right 99.7% of the time. It might go up to 99.8 because I'm right again. Obviously, I know. Nobody other than me knows if I'm on growth hormone or not, and I'm not. So I know I'm right, so it's a pretty easy bet.
At any odds, for any amount of money, over any length of time, stretching from now into infinity.
I bet you $1 million I'm not on growth hormone. Does anyone want to take the bet? Against one of your dollars. Anyone who accepts that bet, you owe me $1. I'm the only one who knows that I'm right, and why would I lie? It's stupid. What about mental clarity? I mean, making this video, I'm in a mess, but does that mean it's because my HRT is low? I don't think so. I'm making this video and I'm stumbling on my, I'm making this video and I keep bumbling on my words. I'm making this video and I keep So I'm making this video and I keep stumbling on my words, and do I blame being off HRT? No, I've bumbled words plenty of times in the past. Get delicious tasting ice cream. Okay, let's get You're spread. Why do we actually? What? Wait till you see whatever. Wait till you see whatever. Wait till you see what else he says. And I've also, since being off HRT, done amazing videos like the one on Ryan Humiston. You guys watch that one? Non-stop, it was in a roll. Easy, no problem. So some days are good, some days are bad. I can't say being off HRT, I'm not productive anymore. I recorded 5 videos on Friday. Does that sound like somebody that can't work anymore? People are like, oh, it's my job and it's stress and I need HRT to do my job. No, you can still work. I mean, does it improve cognitive function? I don't know. It puts you in a positive mood. Am I in a bad mood? No, I feel pretty good most of the time. So despite being off HRT, I don't have suicidal thoughts and I still feel like a normal human being. I just feel less awesome than last time. When I was on HRT, I recovered better and I wasn't as sore and I felt a bit better. Everything was a bit better. Was it way better? No. I would argue if I stopped doing a massive cycle, test, trend, growth hormone, the whole thing, and just stopped, I would argue I probably wouldn't feel so good right now. I probably would have crashed a lot harder. But because it was a smaller dose, just TRT, it's not like I can't keep training and riding my bike. Does HRT benefit me? Yes, I felt better on it. I'm trying to see what happens to this tricep without it. What's going to happen in the future? I don't know. I have another appointment with my endocrinologist, but it's Canada. Who knows how heck freaking long it takes to get? 6 months maybe. I want to talk to the endocrinologist and say, do you agree with the sports doctor? Do you think that my testosterone level should be down? Should it be up? What are the negatives? What are the pros and cons? I want to know all this stuff, but I have to wait. So there it is. That's how I feel. That's how I'm coping. What am I going to do in the future? I'll let you know when I decide. I don't freaking know. I just went to 2 doctors this morning, okay? Just got the results. Don't know. Here's a video. Hope you learned something. Subscribe. Click the bell button. I'm going to talk about this in the future. Let you know how I'm doing. Should you do it? Should you not do it? What are the doctors saying? I'm going to keep you informed. And in it here, GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IB Pro. Bloop it up the 2 videos. They're right over there. Watch one of them. Subscribe to my newsletter as well. Buy my freaking cookbook. You know you want to. And until next time, I am out. Because I'm off HRT, man. Whatever.